Hey everyone, welcome back to what's happening in real estate this week. My name is Rob Golfi with REMAX, the Golfi team, and we got Conrad Zurini, broker, owner of REMAX Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, and we got Brian Hogben, Mission 35 Mortgages, broker, owner of that. And one thing I want to say, welcome back from Portugal, Conrad. You just went on you were speaking out to all the in Portugal. Do you speak Portuguese, Conrad?
No, I don't know, but it was an international conference. So there were translators like from all languages because we have people from Greece, Turkey,
Wow.
Germany, France. Yeah, so it was a European conference.
Yeah.
But we all spoke in English,
Oh,
which was great. Every speaker spoke English, and they just had translators for everybody with headphones and things like that. So yeah, it was the elite of the elite in Europe. Yeah, very
aren't we
interesting
lucky?
sales.
Aren't we lucky we were born in an English-speaking country?
Yeah,
Because
I know.
that's pretty well the world language anyway.
Yeah.
So no matter what. So because and apparently English is hard to learn. In,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
like for other countries, like we have so many silent letters. So
And we
anyway,
have so many words for there. I still get
Yeah.
by there, and there. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Guys, listen, this just came up in the paper. Why a judge ruled these home buyers were justified in walking away from an accepted deal. So I'm gonna just go over this quick. So a recent Ontario Superior Court case offers a key lesson on both home buyers and sellers. Now, there was a Kitchener case. Buyers made an unconditional offer to purchase a home. The sellers accepted the offer, but made a small change by adding a Schedule B. And like I'm just giving you the short form on that. So anyway, the small addition changed everything because the Schedule B wasn't part of the original offer. And because the buyers never signed or initialed it, the court ruled there was no deal at all, only a counteroffer that the buyers never accepted. The buyers walked away, didn't pay the $50,000 deposit, and sellers ended up reselling for $25,000 less plus legal costs. The judge concluded there was no meetings of the mind, and what seemed like a simple procedural step, adding a standard form, legally voided the acceptance. So the buyers made an offer, unconditional, and could of the sellers they accepted the offer. Now, the selling agent, he could have said, okay, listen, we're not going to have a Schedule B on this deal. Could he gotten away with that without touching the offer?
Yeah, you know what? In retrospect, yeah, there are things that were details that in those Schedule B that needs to be from our licensing body perspective. But all he had to do was do an amendment. Like
Yes.
They should have just done an amendment right after. Said here, we want to add this. As a matter of fact, that 24 hours for the deposit, that really means 24 hours. And if it comes in the 25th hour, that deal is really dead, and there's precedent to that. So, especially when it's a long weekend, you got to be prepared for that. You got to write it in the offer, like Tuesday or whatever, instead of the holiday Monday, because it's 24 hours. All you have to do is by amendment. Sometimes our agents are, they're in the 23rd hour. They can't get it done. They deposit in. They slip an amendment in asking for another 24 hours, and we're good. That's all they have to do. Yep.
So, okay, but question here is the offer, the sellers accepted the offer.
Yep.
With only a Schedule A in there.
Yep.
The deal was solid, done.
Yes, solid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there was no Schedule B. So they do a Schedule B as an amendment. If the buyers don't sign the Schedule B, which there's no reason not to, it just kind of explains it. But if they don't sign it, it's still a firm deal.
Yeah, it's firm. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yep. How crucial, like there's a lot of offers have been done out there without the Schedule Bs. I know with REMAX Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, like with us, with you guys like we need that Schedule B. We got it. I understand. But if a deal, I think the agent didn't realize that he really messed up that deal.
What is on the Schedule B then?
Well, it talks about interest bearing, like your trust. The trust monies are an interest bearing account. How that's all calculated,
Room sizes.
and its definitions. In terms
not even
of
really privy to the property then. right? Like it's actually privy to
no,
the transaction.
but it does talk about days, like, you know, banking days. There's definitions, because if somebody writes banking days, what does that really mean? You know, especially when TD was open on Sunday, you know, that kind of thing. No, they were open on Sunday. So it's clear definitions. All it does is, if something goes wrong, at least we have a reference point. Other than that, it's up to interpretation.
Right.
So that's all it is. It's nothing more than that.
But it was a firm deal. So a good agent would have probably said, you know what? I don't want to tamper with this offer.
No.
You know what? Otherwise, if you tamper with it, and look what happened. The buyers, they changed their mind after. They say, oh, they probably had buyer's remorse, and they ended up getting sued, and they ended up winning. The judge sided with them. Like, but I don't understand how it got to that point, Conrad. Like, because wouldn't their agents say, listen, you know what? Like I messed up. I shouldn't have touched this offer, or I tried to do the right thing. The other agent maybe was on board and said, just send it and we'll sign it. And then the buyers changed their mind. I don't know.
Well, Well, I heard that they're countersuing the actual company and the agent. The sellers are, because I will tell you this, you know better, like, you know how we do documents here. We have people scanning the documents for those initials. Okay. And also now we've got AI. So we've got not only AI, but we also have human eyes. We have this ocular technology that would find that. And who knows what the back end of that person's brokerage. That's why I find the brokerage is just as liable, because they would have received the documents in enough time that it would have, like, even if they received documents 3 to 5 days later, they would have said, hey, you're missing something, go get it. And then this will still go through. They would have known at that point. It wouldn't have to go that far, right?
It's like it's funny how one initial, they always say that, and I know, and it's funny that you're talking about that, because you created a program for scanning documents.
It's called Deal Track.
Yes. And I think that's your program. Am I correct, Conrad?
Well, I've been very instrumental in some of the development and some of the ideas and things. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a vision of mine for a long, long time. Yeah.
So I was just talking to somebody the other day, and he came up to me and he says, hey, we've got a program that you scan it. It'll tell you if it's missing an initial, signature, everything. I go, this is AI. And I go, holy smokes. And then now you're telling me that, like, I literally talked to this guy 2 days ago. And, and you're telling me that we have that. So I was wondering, because I know your staff, if we're missing something, they're on it. Like they call us, say, hey, listen, you need to get this, you need to get that. So that all our deals, they close on, like, smoothly without any hiccups. Nobody, so that's amazing. That's amazing. But
we're even teaching it to scan listings. And even if you say something that, wait a minute, was there, like, they did a auxiliary home, did they get a building permit? Like, it's actually saying, it's just going to notify the listing agent saying, make sure you got a building permit for this or whatever, right? If you're going to say it, you better have a permit.
Yeah. No kidding. That is crazy. So, you're right. I would assume the sellers would probably end up suing the,
misconduct by the listing agent.
He really, he messed up that one. So, experience matters. I'm telling you that experience matters. So the great thing is that with your educational system, and I'm not trying to pat you on the shoulder, but I know with all the teachings that you do with the company, no other company out there does what you do. So,
thank you.
Kudos to you. And if you're looking at joining a brokerage, REMAX Niagara is the one to go with. Okay, I got to give Brian Hogben a little pat on the shoulder, and also mortgages.
I was gonna say we have great partners like Brian and Escarpment Law and yourself too, Rob. That these, you guys are very active. Things are coming to the surface, and we're able to share those pitfalls and what's happening in the market. So, and what you're doing today is amazing for consumers and agents alike. So that's fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. So Hamilton puts second year in a row, vacant tax survives another vote. Are they going to vote for this every year? Like Conrad, okay, I'm going to just do a quick thing. City of Hamilton voted 8-7 to continue the vacant tax policy into 2026, and the tax applies to residential property 6 or fewer units. So you got your big apartment building will not affect that.
No, and no, not at all. No.
So over here it says that remain vacant for more than 183 days. If the owners pay, otherwise owners will pay 1% property assessed value. Now, property owners must submit an annual declaration of occupancy status. Declaration is filed, the home can be deemed vacant taxed. Now, they say that they have a very high declaration rate was achieved, 96%. Of course, because they threatened you. It's like putting a gun to your head. Am I right?
That wasn't true. That's the biggest thing too, right? Just because you have a high declaration rate doesn't mean that it's there's integrity in the numbers. Right? Like, is in the world we live in today, I don't see the Hamilton municipality cross-referencing with Revenue Canada's database and saying, "Oh, this doesn't match." Like, I hate to say it, but how many people are answering that honestly?
Well, my video this Friday, I'm going to look at all the vacant homes that were sold, because the whole idea was that this would spur people, it would push people to sell their vacant homes. So was there an uptick of vacant sales in the last 4 years? I'm going to find that out for you tomorrow morning.
That'd be awesome. You know what the one thing I think really, if they really want to help with property, keep rentals, we are losing detached single-family homes. Single-family homes, townhouses, semis, all those, we're losing them like rapidly every year because 2 reasons. One, the elderly population are getting rid of it. Like when their tenant is moved out and they're done, they don't want to deal with tenancy anymore.
Yep.
And so they're selling it. So the buyer that's going to buy this, he can't afford to rent it because it's too expensive. So it's going to be somebody that's going to live there, buy it for themselves to move in. So we lose another rental property on the market. Yeah. And so there's that aspect of it. And so in 10 to 15 years from now, we are not going to have as many townhouses, semis, or detached homes for rent.
Yep.
Unless they do something with the landlord-tenant issue. They got to change that, because, and I'll tell you something, they will not realize this until it's too late, and it'll affect everything.
Yeah.
So basically, you are going to get kids growing up in apartment buildings because the families, first of all, there's hardly any detached rentals for rent. And they won't be able to afford to buy it because it's too expensive. So they're going to be playing stick hockey in the hallways of apartment buildings, raising their families. I don't know. Am I on the right? Does that make sense?
No. I'm curious.
No, you're right.
Would so if we actually win the war on development charges, right? And if development charges actually come down, do you think that builders will shift to single family home or townhouses again?
No, it's still not happening. Like we're still well below the 10-year average when it comes to housing starts. And I'll tell you, Rob, you're so right. And that we're not even seeing any of it replaced. Like I think the single detached numbers, maybe we got it in Alberta, but we don't have it in Ontario for sure. And towns, not a project getting off the ground. So people will not have choice. You're absolutely right. They will not have choice like they did in the past when it comes to housing. And you know what? They got to think the rental is a part of it. Like, look, we're at 35% people rent, right? You know what I mean? So what options do these people have besides glass boxes? No, I think you're on the right track, Rob. Something's got to give, right?
Yeah, and they got it. And the only way to fix it is the landlord tenant board. They got to fix it, and because what happens is you get like a 70-year-old guy that he wants to keep the house for his kids if he passes away, but because he had a bad tenancy, he says, I'm done with this. He lets it go. The buyer that's going to buy that is going to be moving in. That's one rental. And that's how many hundreds and hundreds of them are happening right now every year.
And then,
and
you can't renovate. People want to renovate. Like, what about people that want to renovate these single detached, get them up to date? Maybe they have to move the tenant out, but then you have to bring that tenant back at that same. We have one like that. They're at the tribunal. I think it's end of the month. And they're asking for $32,000 at the tribunal, the tenant, because they got pushed out Okay. To do a, because it needed, like it was uninhabitable. It was unsafe, literally. And then the landlord rented it to somebody else, unfortunately, and didn't go back to the original people. $32,000. So you're right, Rob. It's a brutal thing.
Yeah, he'll end up selling it, and guess what? We lose another rental property on the market. And I'll tell you, the people that have all these apartment buildings, So see how it took 50 years for them to stop rent control to build new apartment buildings. Wait, this is going to be faster than the 50 years. Within 10 years, 15 years, they're going to go, whoops, we made a mistake. And we got to fix this landlord tenant board stuff because we're losing rental housing by the thousands every year. And so anyway,
I think it'll be a resurgence of the in-law suite in the duplex, though. When you end up seeing those first-time home buyers, they're going to end up buying the bungalow or two-story home, rent out the basement unit, and then that generation, it'll be interesting to see if they go back to a resurgence of, hey, this did work for me because I lived there, and now I'm going to keep it and buy my next one. It'd be interesting to see if that comes, because I bet you those people that do that right now, those first-time home buyers that buy that in-law one, they're going to see some massive equity build up in the next 5 years. And they'll be the ones that'll be able to say, holy shit, I could refinance this single-family home now, take out a whack of cash, and buy something else. So something for people to consider in that first-time buyer segment.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You know what? You almost have to follow what's going on in Vancouver, because a friend of mine moved out there about 25, 30 years ago. I can't remember. And pretty well everybody that had a house there had an apartment in the basement.
Yeah. Of course.
So, and they still have it. Like it's very rare that somebody owns a house and does not rent out the basement. And because of the housing costs there was so expensive. Even 30 years ago, it was expensive. And so now, and that's a norm now, and that's becoming a norm here now. So
that's a good point. So, a lot of those affluent areas in Vancouver, they are duplex, they are semis, they do have that.
Well, San Francisco, like it's, there was a great movie. I can't remember who was in it, but there was a movie about this terrible tenant that actually tormented the owner.
Pacific Heights. My God,
yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. Yes,
that was crazy. It drove the owner insane. It drove him insane.
That's a good one.
That's it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, guys, listen, I appreciate your time, and thanks for everyone else for listening. And if you want to hear more, just follow us on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and everything else, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Rob. Thanks.